everybody, welcome back to the shed. I'm Troy, this is Dave, and we got the chainsaw guy next door, and we also have some sirens going off in the background, so we got a lot going on here tonight. Anyway, the topic today is the top 3 TV theme songs of all time. I want to kind of start off by saying that we don't know each other's picks. I don't know what top 3 he has. He doesn't know.
I don't know what he has.
So that's what makes this so great. Because I mean, you know, if his suck, I'll tell him. If mine suck, he tells me. This is going to be a fun episode because, you know, we grew up on classic TV shows. I mean, back in the day, everybody watched the same TV shows. And
I'm 10 years ahead of him.
We had 3 channels forever, and everybody watched the same shows for the most part. Now you have Netflix, you have Hulu, you have 50 million ways to watch TV programs. But, you know, and what was really great about those classic TV shows is they all had a great opening theme song.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many. So what's your number 3?
Well, my number 3 is The Rockford Files.
This is Jim Rockford. At the tone, leave your name and message. I'll get back to you.
You are full of bullshit, my friend. I will sue you for everything you have.
If you didn't grow up in the 70s, you don't know about The Rockford Files.
Who was the star of The Rockford Files?
James Garner.
Okay.
And it was one of those shows that was like a detective show. There's a lot of them. But,
They had a lot of those in the 70s.
yeah, you had Mannix, you had Columbo. You
Yeah,
know,
Columbo, good old Columbo. My friend Robbie, if he's watching this, he loves Columbo.
Really?
But because forever he didn't have cable or anything,
Right.
so he had a DVD collection of Columbo, and that's all he watched.
Well, James Garner was like one of these salty, sort of detective kind of guys that kind of popular, but it was, the song is by Mike Post. Mike Post was one of those guys that did all these like theme songs like Magnum P.I. Hill Street Blues. Great American Hero, L.A. Law.
Hey, The
Remember?
Great American Hero almost made my top 3.
Really?
I loved that show, man, when I was a kid.
Yeah, it was a great theme song.
Believe it or not, I'm
Walking on air, I never thought I could feel so free.
And he was like the king of theme songs for those 70s, 80s shows.
Yeah.
But the thing about that song is, it was like one of the first songs where they used a mini Moog or a Moog synthesizer.
Okay.
You know what a Moog is?
Yeah, oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it had like this really cool kind of, it had a harmonica, so it had kind of a bluesy thing. It had a kind of a great guitar riffs and stuff like that going on in it. That song ended up, entering the charts and being in the top 10 for like a long time.
Oh,
but
wow.
It was a really cool song. It was a cool show. It was, by today's standards, it's maybe a little,
Cheesy.
cheesy. Yeah, but
All those
it
shows
was up
are-
there with Magnum P.I. and all those other ones.
All those shows back there were cheesy. I like how they always ended the show with the credits, and they would have like something going on, and they'd laugh, and they would freeze.
It was one of those, like, they all were back then. They wrapped up the whole show in one episode. It didn't
Yeah, yeah.
carry on.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a soap opera. It wasn't like Hill Street Blues, because Hill Street Blues kind of carried on from episode to episode. But, yeah, Rockford Files is great song.
I don't know if I ever watched that show, but yeah, I can hear the song in my head. Yeah. My number 3 is It's a show from the 70s, from my childhood. One of my favorite shows of all time. It's Happy Days.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days.
It goes Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday,
Wednesday,
Wednesday.
happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. The weekend comes, my cycle hums, ready to race to you.
I thought you were going to go with the original. There was Bill Haley in the Comets.
That was the theme song that I'm just singing. What are you talking about?
Well, the original part was 1, 2, 3 o'clock,
4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
That was the original thing.
That's true. I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
It's one of those shows that it was around for so long, and the original term "jump the shark"
Yeah, it came from the Fonz when he jumped the shark.
he would jump
Yeah,
the shark.
yeah.
But the original, if you go back to the 70s when I was a kid, the theme
Oh, yeah.
was
Okay, I do remember that now. Now that you say that, I totally forgot about that. But yeah, you are correct. But both those songs are great. I love the show. When I was a kid, I wanted to be the Fonz, man.
Yeah.
I would walk around. I was like in kindergarten. I go, hey. I wanted to be the Fonz, man.
You are the Fonz, man. Look at your hair, man. You're the fucking
Yeah,
Fonz.
yeah. When I wake up in the morning, I grab my comb and I look in the mirror and I'm like,
Hey.
what's your number 2?
I just peed my pants.
Number 2. Number 2. What's your number 2?
Hey, hey, we're the monkeys.
People say we monkey around, but we're too busy singing.
Anyway.
But they weren't even a real band when they started.
Well,
and they
that's-
eventually like learned their instruments and learned how to play and learned how to sing. And they went from being a TV band to a real band.
Well, the history of it is,
Dave loves to give history lessons.
the Beatles had the Hard Day's Night.
Yeah.
And they made that movie, and of course in America we decided, hey, we got to capitalize on this. So
We got to copy what the
let's-
British are doing.
let's create this fake band and model it after the Hard Day's Night. Because if you see the whole intro and all that stuff with the show, it's kind of like Hard Day's Night. There was really only one musician in that band, and it was Mike Nesmith, and he was from Dallas. I believe Dallas, Texas. He's a Texan. And the thing about a lot of people don't know is that Mike Nesmith's mom invented liquid paper. So he was not a kid that was like hard up or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, he was like, this is like the guy who invented the weed eater.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Anyways,
Or the sticky notes.
yeah, all the Monkees. There was Mike Nesmith. There's Peter Tork. There's Davy Jones. And there's Mickey Dolenz. So all the music that was created was done by the Wrecking Crew.
Mary, where you going to?
If you've never seen the movie about the Wrecking Crew, there's this studio musicians in LA, kind of like the ones that were in Motown, and Glenn Campbell was part of it.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
And all these guys were like these ace
Musicians.
musicians, and they'd go in there and they recorded hundreds, if not thousands, of number one songs. Sonny and Cher, all these bands, but the Monkees' music was all pretty much done by the Wrecking
wow.
Crew, and but that is a great freaking song.
Yeah. Let's sing it again.
Hey,
we're the Monkees.
People say we monkey around.
That is to me like one of the great
That's a good
movie or
That's a good
TV theme songs.
You know what? I've just realized I should have added one to my list that's not on my list, and I'm just going to throw it in there real quick because it was a great kid show in the 70s. Do you remember the Banana Splits?
Of course.
1 banana, 2 banana, 3 banana, 4. 4 bananas make a bunch and so do many more.
I loved it because I remember being a kid like, 6, 7 years old, and we'd go at my friend's house and we'd watch the Banana Splits and the la la la. Anyway, I wanted to throw that in there. I forgot about that song. I should have added it to my list, but it's not on my list. My number 2 is from a show from the late 70s, early 80s. One of my favorite shows of all time. I still watch it today. When I'm at lunch at home.
Barney?
When I'm at lunch at home.
I love you.
No.
Anyways,
when I'm at home, if I eat lunch at home by myself, I watch this show. It's Three's Company.
Come and knock on our door.
Come and knock on our door.
We've been waiting for you.
We've been waiting for you.
Oh yeah, I love Three's Company. You like the Three's Company before Don Knotts or after Don Knotts?
I like them both. I mean, I love Three's Company. You know how I said I wanted to be the Fonz? After the Fonz, I wanted to be Jack Tripper.
Dulces.
Lordy.
Because I thought Jack Tripper was the coolest, the funniest guy ever on TV. He was great. He was one of those comedians and actors that could just he was almost slapstick. The way he would get hurt and the way he would do things and fall down and do all this stuff. My dad hated Three's Company. When I would watch Three's Company, that's a bunch of, what are you watching that stuff for? It's not.
John Ritter was so funny in that show, and God rest his soul. I mean, I hate that when he died, but John Ritter, he was a comedic actor, but when he did Sling Blade, he was so awesome in that movie.
My own family was never like a family. They're horrible people. Matter of fact, for years I prayed every night that my father would die.
It really kind of transformed him into another kind of actor, but then he died, and it's so fucking sad.
Yeah.
But I love Three's Company.
That whole, him and then the two women. What are their names? You just said her name.
Suzanne
Summers and the other girl. They sort of had a falling out, I think, at the time. Suzanne Summers left because of some issues. Because she wanted more money. She wouldn't get paid. John Ritter was. Yeah. So she left, and I've seen interviews lately where she's like, I should have just stayed. She didn't stay, whatever, and she went on to have a pretty good career doing some other things too. I love Three's Company. It's probably one of my favorite shows, sitcoms of all time, and the theme song, it just makes the show, man. It's just so great, but I love it.
That's totally out of left field, man. I would never.
You would have never thought that.
Nah, because it ain't gonna compete with my number one.
What's your number? Is your number one gonna compete with my number one?
All right.
Because mine's a real number one. Go ahead. What's your number one?
Hawaii Five-0. Dun, 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 dun. Late 60s, all the 70s. We all watched it. Everyone that
I
grew
watched
up
it
in
too,
that area.
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was that and Fantasy Island and The Love Boat and all those shows.
Yeah, but those suck compared to that intro. I mean,
The Love Boat. Soon we'll be making another round.
The Ventures actually covered that song after the show came out, and the Ventures were one of these great bands that
like surf bands.
Yeah, influential. But the Ventures went ahead and covered that song, and it was like in the top 100 for like 15 weeks or something like that. It was a huge song. Everyone that watched, Hawaii, we all watched Hawaii Five-0. If you're not old enough.
No, I remember it because I was a kid when that show came out. Late 70s,
Yeah, it was like 68 to 1980. So I don't know how old you were. But we all watched it.
I watched the later episodes for sure.
And it was a great show, and it always wrapped it up, and it was, it was like, book 'em, Dano.
Book 'em, Dano. Murder 1, 2 counts.
It was It was a great song. It was like ingrained in everybody's brain that's ever been alive at that point. There's no one that could have lived during that point and wouldn't know that song.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's a great song. When we go to Hawaii and I edit my Hawaiian vlogs, I found a song that's very similar to that because it sounds so much like the Hawaii Five-0
Yeah,
music.
it's kind of a surf rock,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's not
Yeah.
really that. I think that's my number one.
That's pretty good, but I don't know if it can compete with my number one, which is from another one of my favorite shows of all time that you probably can't see or watch anywhere anymore.
Because it got canceled?
Not because it got canceled. What? It got canceled. Not canceled, but canceled.
Not woke canceled.
No, I would say woke canceled.
All right.
The Dukes of Hazzard.
Just a good old boy. Never meaning no harm.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it got woke canceled.
Waylon Jennings, man, singing your theme song.
Oh, man.
Just a good old boy.
Never meaning no harm. Beats all you never saw.
Been in trouble with the laws since the day they were born. That is an awesome country song. I'm not a huge fan of country, but like I love that old classic country. And you got Waylon Jennings, the Dukes of Hazzard. I love the Dukes of Hazzard. I loved that show as a kid. I mean, when I first started driving, I would like an idiot, if my window was rolled down, I would like jump through the window like the Dukes of Hazzard, or try to slide across the hood.
I saw Waylon. You know when?
When? In college.
Exactly. He played Cullowhee, man. He came up and played Cullowhee. And
He's dead now, right? He died?
Yeah.
Yeah. He
He's
died a long
dead.
time ago.
But I saw him in like 1981 or something like that.
That's cool.
But yeah, Waylon's. I love Waylon.
Yeah, it's a great song. But so when I first started driving, I drove like the Dukes of Hazzard. I mean, really, literally, I'm not even joking. Every day after school, here's what's funny. So I was the only one in my little friend group that had a car. So when school was out, I'd walk to my car and there'd be like 15 people there wanting to ride home. So I would take everybody, I was basically the bus for everybody in town, and we'd ride around and I'd take everybody home. And after I dropped one friend off, there was this long stretch of like road that went through the town and had this big bump, this big hill. And I would floor it every day, and I would jump that sucker like the freaking Dukes of Hazzard, man. And I would get air, and that car.
So your car was a General Lee.
It was a baby blue General Lee. I mean, literally, I would take off, because, this is back when cars were, rear wheel drive. They weren't front wheel drive. And I would I would burn out. I would spin those tires. I would do brake jobs. You know what a brake job is? Where you hold the brake down and then you
spin the back wheel.
When you hit the gas so you're sitting there. I'd be at the red light in San Saba and smoke would be flying. And I'd let off the brake and it'd be like, I'd get sideways. I mean, I drove like the freaking Dukes of Hazzard. That's how much I love that show. That's how much an effect that show had on me as a teenager, for sure. Because that's what I did, man. I wanted to be the freaking Dukes of Hazzard.
Well, I gotta say, this is gonna be one of our more animated episodes. I don't know if it's the beer or it's the topic, but anyways,
you know what? They don't make TV shows like they used to, or those kind of TV shows. Anyway, hey, we could go on forever talking about classic TV theme songs and classic TV shows, but we're gonna leave it at that. The Andy Griffith Show
with Don Knotts.
Thanks for watching. Leave a comment below. Let us know what your favorite TV theme songs are of all time. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video, and we will see you next time.
Later. There's going to be some fun in that.